Welcome to Grow Your Opinion from Melodic Metal Suggestion. Thanks everyone for being here, for watching this. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and make a comment. With me, we be usual to be, is Sang. Sang, how you going today?
Hello, Leoncito. I'm pretty happy because we have this band that I'm pretty sure that very soon everybody's gonna hear about them. That's my feeling, and that's why we invited to this interview before they become huge and they don't even answer our Instagram messages.
Nice.
So let's start introducing Danny and Matt from Iridium. Hello, guys. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
No. Thank you for your time. And like I said before we started recording, I found them when they started making some very short videos in TikTok, and I started liking the riffs that they were playing. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna follow them because I think they have something. And it was just 1 minute, no more than 2 minutes videos with riffs and stuff. And then I followed them in Instagram, and little by little they started like getting something. They started like building something, but it's better that then start telling us what happened there. So the first question is, the most basic one is, who is Iridium and what is your music style?
Who is Iridium? That's a great question. I don't think we've ever been asked that. At the basics, it's 5 of us. Myself, Danny, Matt, Jack, Aaron, and Dan. At the heart of it is really just 5 guys coming together with a love of metal music, trying to write about things that are important to us. We all have different experiences in life. We've all gone through different things. And we all just want to kind of bring that into our music as much as possible. We tend to lean towards the metalcore side of things, so we're probably for fans of bands Northlane, Polaris, Currents, Error, Invent Animate. They're kind of the bands we usually get kind of lumped into, which is great for us because they're all bands that we love. So that's very flattering for us to hear. But really, the whole identity of the band is built across many different things. The heart of it, like I said before, personal experience, self-acceptance. And just, if we can help people go through life listening to our music, if we can help people to relate to us, and we can pair that with, some fun riffs, some sick breakdowns, and that's what we're about.
Yeah. And Matt, what kind of music would you say that you play?
I think it would probably fall into the kind of modern metal category, I would say. We've got a really wide range of influences as a band. Some of us listen to jazz, electronic music, rap, but then also we all just love metal. Some of us on the more kind of techie side. So there's a lot of different influences that we pull together. I think the key thing for me is that it's they stand out as songs. We don't just want to write riffs and bundle them together. We want to write good songs. We want to write songs that flow together, and also we're always trying to put a level of emotionality into it. We want to express ourselves and our emotions through these songs, and also to, I think, communicate some of the human experience in a real way. And I think one of the great things about metal is that you can use the genre to kind of push that and talk about things that most genres they wouldn't touch. I think that's great for us in terms of expressing, maybe some of the darker side of the human experience, which is great. I love that.
Yeah. So before, sorry, Leoncito, before Leoncito continue with the next question, I have 2 comments there. The first comment is, please, Danny and Matt, get used to that question because I think a lot of people are going to start asking you that question. Like you're going to start getting more and more interviews. So prepare a better answer. You think that you are missing something? Because that's gonna be a common question. And the number 2 is like I said before, these guys started making something that I think no matter what kind of music or you are playing, the quality of the music they're doing is amazing for me, because you take something from the very melancholic stuff, and then suddenly it rises very fast, and it's like super strong, super heavy. And then I like that kind of things, because when I for example, when I'm listening to my music that is kind of melancholic, I like to feel melancholic, but then suddenly I like to use that feeling and express it like maybe as a anger or something like that. And when you start with the breakdown, or when you start with the heavy riffs, then I get that feeling that I'm too depressed, and then suddenly I feel powerful again, and you don't let me fall all the way down, And that's something I love from Iridium. But now we can continue with Williamcito. I just wanted to say that before I forget it.
All right, all right, all right. Well, guys, you know that the scene of the metalcore in UK is really growing fast. So, what makes Iridium stand out in that way? How do you feel on that?
I think the difference between us and other bands is that we are just unapologetically ourselves, and we're not trying to conform to what the standard of metalcore is. Like, there's a lot of people that have said our music's a bit wild, a bit crazy. On the flip side, there's people that say it's a little bit generic. But I think for us, it's like we don't approach songs in the sense of what would be a good metalcore song. We just want to take how we feel as people, and what we like and what we enjoy, and also what we don't enjoy, and we just go, let's make a song about that, let's see how it goes. But I think the emotion, like, in that reflects in the songwriting. You've got songs like Cloud9 that just come straight out of the gate super angry. That it's supposed to be angry because it's an angry song. Like, writing those lyrics from experiences that we've had, like, makes us feel angry, so the song has to sound angry. On the flip side, you've got songs like Is It Too Late that are super poppy, super bright, super, catchy, cleans, choruses, everything. And, like, if you listen to those two songs and had no idea, you probably, well, if you listen to the instrumentals, maybe, the vocals would tie it together, but you probably would think it's two different bands. And the reason for that, we don't go, you know what, like, we're going to write this style of album or that style of album. We just go, this is a song, this is a riff, this makes me feel this certain kind of way. Let's build on this. Let's see what we can create from it. And I think the experience of that from listening to, Hell Is Just a Halfway House and Mortals, it flows in a way that maybe other metalcore bands' albums don't flow in a way. Not to put shade on other metal bands, of course, because, every band has their own style, every band has, their own way of doing things. But I think for us, we've always agreed as a collective, like, we're just going to do what we think feels real. And I think people can relate to that. And we do get people come up to us all the time, like, after shows, like, emotional, saying, like, I really needed this tonight, like, thank you for it. And, like, for us, like, to hear that and to hear that it's touched people in the way that, the music touches us and makes us feel, is really what we're about. And if we can do, like, that while making music that we love, I think that's what makes us stand out.
Yeah. And you said something very accurate, that is like a lot of people, the first opinion that they have when they listen to a band is like, it's too generic. That's the first opinion, that's the most true opinion that they can give, especially when it comes to modern metal, to metalcore, is the most common opinion. But what I think is that, and something that we are very proud about is Leoncito and me, is that we listen to a lot of bands every day, especially me. I listen to a lot of bands every day, and yes, a lot of them, they sound very generic. Like, okay, that's another guy making riffs. Okay, I can play that. But what makes the difference for me is what you can create in my feelings, and that's it. Because there's a lot of guys that can play but super fast. There's a lot of guys that can play very heavy riffs, very melancholic riffs. But you need something. Some kind of a way to be able to mix this melancholy with heavy riffs and the different kind of voices in the correct time. Otherwise, it sounds like forced. Like you wanna sound heavy because you don't want to sound only like too soft or something like that. But with you guys, I'm listening to your song, especially because I listen to music when I'm having my baby and sleeping, and it's totally quiet, and that's when I can totally focus on the songs, and I can listen to every instrument, what I feel when I'm listening to the music, and that's why I think your music is out of what is considered generic, at least for me, in my opinion. And
Yeah, I think you probably touched on a couple of really good points there, and from Danny as well, and that's kind of it's that kind of dynamic flow throughout the songs where it's like, well, this song, it's a song in itself, it's a package, and it has like a journey. We always want to take people on a journey. That's always the way that we kind of, when we are approaching songs or even albums, it's like, how does this album or EP or whatever it is take you on a journey? And we want to push that variety as well, because there's 3 songwriters in the band. In terms of instrumentals, we work together very closely, but because each one of us has quite a different style, it's kind of, each song sounds slightly different, and then we want to tie it together and like bring people on a journey. And like you say, that kind of dynamic, bringing in the emotion, like at the key point in the song where it's like, well, this is the catharsis point in the song, this is the point of release, this is the angry point, to convey that message like through the sound, rather than just going, oh yeah, here's a bunch of riffs and here's some vocals over the top.
Yeah. And now I have a question for you guys that we kind of talk about it before we start recording, and it's like, when I find a band that I start following in Instagram or TikTok, so sometimes the bands that I'm listening or I'm following in Instagram, I go to Spotify and I check, and they have like 65 followers or something, but they have only one single, and the song is amazing, and then I'm like, okay, is this the correct time to interview them? Sometimes we just do it because we don't have any other plan, and sometimes we just wait. But I honestly lost track of you guys, and I was paying attention to other things, and then suddenly you posted something like you had like 1 million streamings in Spotify, and I was like, what the fuck happened here? So I run to Spotify, and I saw your numbers, and I remember that the last time I saw them, you were in probably 800 or 1,000, something like that. And then suddenly more than 80,000. And I saw, like, for example, God Eater probably is the song with more streamers that you have. 300,000 or more than 300,000. I was like, what's going on? How was that experience, guys? Was it like exponential, or was something that it was very slow? How was it for you?
It's a bit of both, which is probably a vague question, like a vague answer. But when we started, before we'd released really anything, we released an EP years ago, and then there was a hiatus for a long time. Things happened, and when we got back into it, I think we had like 20 monthly listeners. We were still playing gigs, in London, trying to get gig slots, like messaging promoters, trying to do everything we could to build the band. And we were just grinding constantly. And then we released Mortals, and that was probably where you found us, where we got to I think we got to 6,000 on Spotify. We didn't have really much going for us. And we were like, okay, we'll just keep going, we'll just see where this takes us. And then we recorded Hell Is Just a Halfway House, which is our latest album. The first time we recorded a full kind of 7-track EP/album, whatever you want to call it. And we kind of said to ourselves, we're just going to try and market this to the right people. We're not going to have the goal of, let's get as many people to listen to this. We thought, let's just market this towards the right people. What type of people are going to like music? How can we push that? So we kind of said to ourselves, okay, it might not do as well as the last one. Let's just be prepared to not gain as many listeners. Let's just be humble about it and just see where it goes. So we were really cool with that. We were fine. Released the first single, released the second single. We released the third single, Is It Too Late? And I think we really cracked the marketing down on that, because we managed to reach to a lot of people that were really engaged with our music and were listening to our tracks a lot, saving them and playlisting them. And it was growing, kind of normally. And then I remember one day we logged onto the Spotify for Artists, and there was like 80 people listening at that moment that we logged on, and we were just like, what is going on? Like, what is happening right now? Like, this can't be real. We're being like botted or something. And then we looked in the stats later that day, and I remember Matt put a message, because we have like a group chat, and he was like, we've gained 10,000 monthly listeners overnight. And we were just shocked. And we looked into the statistics, and we were like, no, this is real. Like, people are actually listening to this. This is real people. And we got a bunch of messages and a bunch of follows. And ever since then, it's just grown like exponentially. I think we went from like 15,000 monthly listeners to about 90,000 in a week or something like that. It was crazy how quick it grew. And so I think a bit of it, yeah, is you know, that exponential growth of Spotify pushing us and streaming platforms pushing us. But I think the basis for what that was built on is us really trying to connect with our audience and making sure that when people listen to our music and thank us, we take time to actually, you know, be grateful for that, because
Correct.
you know, it's all good for us to say, oh, we've got this many numbers, but without the fans there that are actually listening to our music and getting something, then what's we're not anything as a band. So we've always taken the time to reach out to people that have, you know, sent us positive words or comments. Like, whenever people come to a show, we've always taken the time to speak to them. You know, we've always tried to give the fans a real experience of being a part of the band. Something we've recently done, we have like a club kind of membership thing on our Instagram, which is free. You know, it's just for people that want to stay updated for us, and we let our fans choose like what designs are on the vinyl, and okay, this is the merch that we're thinking of.
Nice.
Like, what designs do you guys want to see? Like, how do you feel about this riff? And really feel like creating that community feel of this is a group of 5 people, but it's much larger than that in the grand scheme of things, because
Correct.
everyone who wants to be a part of Iridium can be. And I think that's how it's grown so quickly, is really, you know, yeah, of course we're the band and we make the music, but the experience isn't just for us, it's for everyone that wants to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, like involving everybody in whatever you do.
Yeah.
That's very
I
smart.
think the other thing that kind of really pushed the growth of this EP, or like say, it grew like 10,000 listeners overnight or whatever it was. It got picked up by, you know, a couple of people like on YouTube. Bogdan, HXC picked it up, and we didn't send those people the music. It was people that had already listened and were like, "This is great," and recommended it to them to then go and listen to. So like that wasn't us. Like, we didn't, you know, that wasn't part of the marketing plan to like you know, send these big influencers tracks. We didn't ask for it, we didn't pay for it. It was like genuine people that genuinely listened and were like, we think this is great, we think you'll enjoy this, go and run with it. And you know, and that has really pushed it along in a big way. So yeah, we're super grateful for that. And you know, we're really grateful for when people, they really get on board. They're like, yeah, like, we really like this and we've listened to everything and actually we love it. And it's kind of, that's yeah, we weren't expecting that, so we're super grateful for that.
And you know, that's something that made me angry, that a lot of promoters, especially managers, that kind of things, they see channel like ours, Leoncito, in a very disrespectful way. Like, it's a small channel, it's a guy trying to be an influencer or whatever. I actually hate the word influencer, because I don't feel like an influencer. We shouldn't be called influencer. Digital creator? Okay, more or less. But this is a hobby for most of us. It's a hobby. We are not influencer of nothing. I don't even influence at home. But the thing is that they don't think that we could change the game. And sometimes it's the people that is doing these kind of things who made the band like boom, explode, you know. You never know who's gonna change your life. And we changed already like a couple of bands live, not all of them of course, but a couple of bands, and it's been amazing for them. They went from what, 8,000 views in YouTube to what? More than
20
1 million
views to 20,000.
Wow.
Yes. And then now they have more than 1 million views, or close to 3 million views, I think, in YouTube. And because of them, my channel grew. But the more beneficial ones were them. So I think it's something really good. You need a little bit of luck. Of course, you need good music. Somebody needs to like it, and I don't know. Maybe if somebody make a great reel, a short reel, 1 minute reel, it can get so viral that it change your life, like it just happened to you guys, and that's very very lucky.
Yeah,
I feel like,
it's crazy how things like that can happen, and you don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's ever going to happen. Like, it's not like we set out like when we started the band, like, oh, we're gonna have 100,000 monthly listeners, and we're gonna get a million streams on Spotify, and we're gonna be this like. I mean, of course, that's what we want. Like, that's the dream, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone wants that. I think that makes music, but we didn't. We never set out for that as a goal. We never said we're going to be the next, biggest metalcore band on the earth. We just said, you know what, we're all guys that like this style of music. We all love making music. We have a passion for it. Let's just write music that speaks to us. Let's just,
Yeah,
make some really fun shows. It doesn't have to be to many people. Just really enjoy ourselves and see where it goes. And I think that kind of
yeah.
attitude has helped us more than anything, really.
It's tiring and it's annoying, but it's kind of addictive that every day in the morning I wake up and the first thing I do is I go to see my numbers, like to see if something happened in the night, and it's disappointing that nothing happened. And but yes, it's the feeling when you get some success for something that happened is amazing. But yeah, guys, I think Lucito, you can continue with the next question.
Yeah. How do you imagine that the Iridium sound is gonna be evolved in the next few years? How do you see that? You're talking about you connecting with the people, and I can imagine that you try to expand all of that connection. But as a level of your sound, how you imagine that is gonna be the evolving of that?
It's a great question. I think based on what we have written so far for whatever's coming next, it seems to be more riffy, I would say. So there's kind of more riffs. We sort of we went there a little bit on Hell is Just a Halfway House, but I think the thing I always want to do is I always try and make something more. It's kind of like obviously there's a limit to how far you can go. But I think I want to push further we've done a little bit of pop on Is It Too Late? We've done a little bit of Thal breakdowns on God Eater. We kind of dabbled in various different pieces. And I think for this, I sort of want to push that further. And that kind of dynamic sound, where you've got contrasts. More contrast, I think. It's kind of like we want to have poppier choruses and heavier breakdowns. We want to keep the level of production value that we've got. We're super happy with the kind of the actual sound, the mix and the production on Hell is really good. I think we want to push ourselves further in terms of the electronics on the album. So, kind of going deeper into the sound design and, pushing that side of it. But yeah, I'm hoping that we want to keep that core of writing great, dynamic, emotional, impactful songs, but then push some of those extremes and contrasts a little bit further. That's where I would hope to go in terms of the sound.
I think the obligate question here is these albums, are you getting help from somebody for the production? Are you doing it everything yourself? How are you making these albums?
So in terms of the recording, we record with Oz Craggs at Hidden Track Studios in Folkestone. He did Mortals, he did the production on Hell. And for the mix and master on Hell, we went to Lance Prenk, who's done Alpha Wolf, Polaris. He's based out in Australia.
Cool.
And yeah, both of them did an absolutely killer job on this album. Oz on the production, and then Lance on the mix and master. We got it back and we were just like, it's unbelievable. It's really, it's a really, really great piece of work from everybody involved for sure.
No, it is. Actually, if you start listening to your first songs and then you listen to this album, you can notice an excellent jump in the production. And like you said, you, Danny and Matt, you joined the band, not recently, but or you are the new guys, and I'm pretty sure that you added some extra to the band that is also making or helping that this mechanism start moving, and because nothing is for free, man. There's a little bit of luck, but at the same time, something is there, you know. And I have a personal question for you guys. If you are able to do a world tour and like to follow with some big band, which band would you like to be and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. I personally listen to a lot of bands that are similar to us, like Invent Animate, Northlane, Error. I would love to be on a tour with one of those bands. Like that would be amazing for us. I think just to watch a band like that for a band at our level, like us, like seeing what they do and how, you know, the respect that they've grown in the industry and the people that have connected to them through their music and the work that they've put in would be really inspiring for us. So I think a band like that. I'd also be really interested to go on tour with a band that isn't necessarily similar to our sound, maybe like a more electronic metal band. Maybe a bit of a softer band, maybe more of a traditional metal band, just to see the reaction of people, like see if we can kind of breach into those subgenres that people might not associate with us. I think people tend to just kind of, especially in metal, say this band is a metalcore band, or this band is a death metal band, or this is a thol band. But I kind of want to break those kind of labels and just have music for the sake of enjoyment and see if we can kind of break those boundaries and go, you know what, like, yeah, this is a really catchy chorus, and then like you can imagine yourself skipping through roses and rainbows and, you know, on, you know, having a great time, and then all of a sudden this like guitar drops like 6 semitones, you're just smashed into this world of like darkness and heaviness, and then go straight back to the pop chorus and just watch people's reactions when they listen to that. I just think that like stuff like that would be really fun. I think bands have started doing it, and I think that's really interesting. That kind of crossover, like for example, Knocked Loose just released a song with Denzel Curry, so there's that like rap and like beatdown crossover, and that's like so interesting to me to see those genres combine. And actually, I think like when you listen to that and the elements from those two genres come together, and you listen to how good it sounds, I think that's really going to open up a pathway for metal bands to kind of work with other genres. So I think, you know, we might in the future see bands touring with, you know, rap artists or things like that. You never know. But yeah, if I had to pick, you know, personally, it would be like Northlane, Polaris, Error.
You remember what they say, never play after Rammstein.
Oh yeah, no, never.
Yeah, there's no following that. No following that, definitely. Yeah.
That could destroy your career, man, so be careful there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think at the moment we don't have the budget for that kind of stage setup. So I think we'll leave
go,
that
man. 8,000, 80,000, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Something could happen there. Like, what if Ramsey called you like, hey, Danny, please, come help us, man. Our numbers are going down. We need you guys. You know,
we might ask very nicely if we can borrow a couple of their flamethrowers and sign an agreement to say we'll look after them. But yeah, we'd do it for sure.
You know that they needed training. They needed training to be able to use that equipment, and so I don't think they will just borrow it to you guys. You need some training.
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, having a stage show that kind of looks like an industrial accident is that's another level of crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, you never know, guys. You really never know. Okay, Josito.
All right, just a weird question. You know, describe Iridium in 3 words, but one of that words has to be a weird word.
I'll let you go first, Matt.
Oh man, this is this is tough. We were kind of joking about this the other day. It was something like breakdowns, R&B, all these weird combinations. I think
that combination is already weird.
Yeah. I think collective is is a great word. Not necessarily because the band is a collective. You know, we're an established band with an established lineup, but it's kind of, we want the experience of Iridium to be collective for people. You know, we want people to feel like they're involved in the experience. Danny's touched on that a little bit. You know, we want people to feel like they're a part of the band. They're a part of what we're doing. You know, I think for me, when we play shows and I see people just, you know, they're just really enjoying it. Maybe this is the opportunity, the only opportunity in their week that they've got to like blow off steam or express some of that emotion, like whatever it is. Even if there's only one or two people in the crowd that are enjoying it, or even there, like we played shows where, you know, there's been like 6 people, but they've all loved it. And that for me that's super important. You know, when you kind of see, you know, that actually there's this kind of two-way relationship between band and listener, particularly live. I think that experience is really something that we want to build on. We really want to feel people to feel like they're involved, like they're a part of this band. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be sat here having a conversation with you if it wasn't for those people listening, coming to the shows, recommending it to their friends or whatever. So yeah, I think collective. So yeah, breakdowns, R&B, collective. Maybe that's the
just wait to play in Latin America, man. And for you, Danny,
yeah,
3
we'd love
words.
to do that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think. Gosh, it's a really hard question.
You had time to think.
Matt said, I guess you could describe this as like 3 words. I think. You know, experimental. We're always kind of changing our sound. We're never going to not do that. I think if you try and expect what we're going to release next, it's probably going to be a very difficult thing to do. I think heavy, you know, we just fall into that category of heavy, like metalcore. You know, we take a lot of influence from those heavier bands that came up early on through metalcore, that have just kind of, you know, Killswitch Engage, Avenged Sevenfold, bands like that. We still try and have a bit of style like that in our song. I think if I had to go for a slightly different type of word, I think for me personally, I would use the word change, because I think change is something for me personally that's really difficult, and it's really hard for me to break out of my comfort zone. And I think before Iridium, I was kind of personally in a place where I was lacking creativity and lacking the kind of self-confidence to make a change. And when they asked me to be the vocalist, I'd never ever done vocals in a band ever in my life. And I spent the first 6 months of the band thinking, oh God, these guys are going to kick me out like as soon as they hear my vocals. But it never happened. And the guys were really encouraging and they loved it. And like the amount of change that as a band we go through every year, it just seems to grow more and more. And it's got me to a point in my life where I look forward to the change instead of being scared of it. And I think when people come up to us in concerts and say like, oh, you know, I've been going through a really hard time in my life, or I've really been dealing with something that's bothering with me. And one thing that people say that always, you know, like really like makes me happy, people say to us, I needed this. Like when they come to a show, they'll say, I needed this tonight. Like this has made me feel really good. Like I needed this release. I needed to listen to this song today. You know, I was going through something this week and I needed to hear this. And I really relate to that, because like for a long time in my life, I felt like music was something I was never going to be able to pursue, or I would never get the opportunity to do this, or I would never get to chase my dreams. And to have that change happen in my life, where I'm at the point now where I'm with 4 of like genuinely some of my best friends and making music that I love, it's shown me that change isn't always scary, and sometimes change can be a good thing.
Nice.
So
You know, Danny, I want to complete your words on something. You know, sometimes as a musician, we don't trust into us. You know, we really don't see how much we can do. But you know, something that we have to understand is you don't have to be an Steve Vai on your guitar, or the best drummer, or the best singer. You have to be good on what you do, and you have to believe that. You don't have to be, on the sky. I'm the best of the world. No,
Mm.
but you have to believe on yourself and say, I'm good at what I do. I respect my partners on the band, with the time, with the work of the band, everything. And maybe the band work, maybe not. Maybe the band have successfully, maybe not. But you have to be true of yourself and say, I'll do the best I can do and the best way that I can do, and it's really good. And that's important that we repeat as a musician to ourselves that you can, it's not like an attraction law or something mystical. No, it's just something that you say to yourself, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
I know I don't need to be the best of the world. I need to be the best of myself doing that.
Okay.
And that's
Very good
really
message,
really important to use that moment and say that and believe in yourself when you do something. And that's
Yeah,
really
definitely.
important to
Definitely, you don't like you really hit the nail on your head where you said like, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be like flawless. I think there's a lot of pressure in society to be this perfect person, and sometimes as humans we aren't. And I think there's a certain beauty in that of not being perfect. And I think you have to follow your dreams and you have to follow what's true to you. And if that's music, then just trust in yourself and don't let anyone tell you, oh, like, don't prioritize music. Like, it's silly. Like, you're never going to be like, you're never going to get to the level you want to. Like, you just have to believe that, maybe I will, and keep working on, for me, it's vocals. I started doing vocals, like screaming at like 15 years old. Like, I was just watching bands like Art and Alexandria, like, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. And I just started, and I never really like thought I would ever get in a band, but it's just something I did because I enjoyed it and I loved it. It wasn't until I was, nearly 10 years later that I actually got the opportunity to be in a band, and I never expected it. I never expected like to get the call up from Iridium, like, oh, one day those guys will want me to be in their band. Like, it just came out of the blue, and that came from just me pursuing something that I love to do. And I think my message to anyone is like, don't ever feel like a musician has something that you don't. Like, yeah, sure, they might be better at guitar than you, they might be better at vocals than you, but they don't have anything special that you weren't born with as a human.
Correct.
You just, everybody has it in them to follow their dreams. And I think if you just do that and see where it goes, you never know where the journey will take you.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
And the thing that if you're a musician, you have to make music. If you lost your opportunities to make music, you never be happy on your life. You never be complete as a person. And that's important. It's something that maybe the band don't get to anything. Maybe just the only listen of your band is your mother on your house because you make your rehearsal at that house. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You organize your life, but be happy, be complete, be a musician. Never stop to be a musician. That's really important to do.
Yeah. Okay, so I have just two more questions, guys. But first, let me remove my tears from Johncito's message. And no, it's a very good message. I'm just kidding. I'm not a musician. I try to be a musician, but I suck as a musician. So I just stop it and continue like a normal school, like I'm an engineer, all that stuff. But I wanted to be part of the music, so that's why I'm here. But that's a very good message, and it's like they said, like scientific stuff, like maths. You don't need Isaac Newton, you don't need Einstein. Somebody will discover it. But without artists, nobody can copy that. Nobody is going to be able to do that thing 2 times. It's going to be only 1 time. One Michelangelo. That's exactly what Danny said. Like, you don't need to be the most talented guy, but what you have is something that nobody else have, and you have to show it to the world. and maybe something will happen. You never know if you don't try it. So now the question is, the last two questions. The first question is, what is next, guys? What is coming? What are you working on right now?
I'll let you go, Matt.
Yeah. So we are back in the studio shortly. We're currently working on a single that hopefully we will release out into the world sometime in the next year. We want to kind of keep going on the momentum that we've got, and then hopefully we'll be following that up with an album or a longer release in 2027. I think in the immediate term, we're going to try and hit the road basically as hard as we can off the back of the success that Hell has seen so far. So we're at Collision Fest. We're next to this weekend. We're at Modern Era Fest. We've got some plans for getting all over the UK. People often message us saying, "Oh, when are you going to come here? When are you going to come here?" We promise we will be there. So yeah, we're going to try and hit the road as hard as we can. We want to take this music out to as many people as we can get. So that's probably our number one priority going forwards. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, the last question. This is I'm gonna try to make it funny. Have you seen this movie 28 Days?
I have, yeah.
I haven't,
Yes,
but I
of
know the premise.
But you know what it's about. It's about an apocalypse, no? Some kind of apocalypse. From the band, guys, who do you think that is gonna be the first one dying, and who do you think that is gonna be the last one, the survival from the band? I'm sure you've been talking about this.
Dan's going to die first. Yeah.
He would be gone in 10 minutes. No, we love Dan. We really do. Like, the band wouldn't be what it is without him. Like, we call him the technical wizard because he sorts out everything. He's not a songwriter like me. I'm not a songwriter, but he sorts out everything technical for us, like all the the sound. He basically is responsible for the live experience. So he's not replaceable at all. But we love him, but he is, yeah, he's...
He will die first.
Yeah, he's he would die first. Yeah. He would definitely die first. I think who would die last? I honestly would probably say Matt, because I think that he's probably the smartest one in the band. Like, he's super duper smart, like, talented. I think he would think of things that most of us wouldn't. I think a lot of us are a little bit, oh my goodness, like, let's just run as fast as we can from everything going on and like pray for the best. I think Matt would be the one to sit down and be methodical and be like, okay, actually I need to do this, like, this is what I need to do, this is how I would survive. So that's my answer anyway. I'd probably be the second, like, person after Dan to die, to be honest. I don't think there's much hope for me in it. I'm honest.
Matt, you just need to run faster than Danny, man. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I just gotta run faster. I mean, yeah. I don't know that I'd be much good in an apocalypse. I mean, Aaron's Aaron works out a lot. He's always in the gym and all that kind of stuff. So he's kind of got that, he's probably more of a fighter than me. So he might last a bit longer. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Now you have something to talk about when you get all together again.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll run a few, like, algorithms with our personality and see what. Maybe we'll ask our fans. Actually, that'd be a good little Q&A. Who do you think would last the longest in an apocalypse?
Now you have homework. So, okay, Losito. Start selling.
Yeah, actually, you guys, start selling is your moment when people can find maybe your merch, your music, your videos, everything. Your social media,
Yeah, so we're obviously we're on all major streaming platforms. You can find our music there. If you want to dive a bit more into, us, please follow us on social medias. All of our tags are Iridium Band UK. TikTok's Iridium UK, but everything else is Iridium Band UK. You can find us on there. We post most days. If you want to get a bit deeper into it, you can join our crew on Iridium. It's like an exclusive kind of fan club. It's free to join. We don't charge anything for it. We just post, like, our everyday lives in there. You can get involved in the next sound of Iridium, like what our merch will look like. You can get some kind of sneak peeks into the behind the scenes stuff. We do also have a website, iridiumband.co.uk, that we recently set up. If you do want to support us by buying some merch, you can buy our merch on there. If you want to buy tickets to a show, If you're from the UK, you're more than welcome to buy them on there. And yeah, like please do follow us. Please do reach out to us. You know, if you like what you hear, if you love our music, please do playlist it, save it. That really helps us with the algorithm. And yeah, you know, your support means everything. So to people that have already done that, thank you so much. Like, we appreciate you so much. We couldn't do what we do without you. And to anyone listening, you know, if you do want to support us, thank you as well. Like, it truly does mean the world to us, and we really appreciate you.
Good.
Nice. Well,
And thank you to you, Glenn, of course, as well for this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
no, man. Thanks to you to bring here. And well, we put your links on the description of this interview. And when I say we, I say Sang gonna do that because he's the editor and everything. So that's it. I think Sang is yeah, he's free, but well, it's good that we finished this interview. So thank you guys for being here again, and thanks everyone for seeing this interview. Go and check and listen Iridium, and please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and make a comment here for what band you want to see here on Grow Your Opinion, or what personality you want to hear and talking to us. So thanks everyone for being here, and bye. Stay metal.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, guys. And
Thank you so much.
hard with horns. Hard with horn for everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much. See you later.